Okay, so if you've been watching my videos on the FIFA World Cup, you would have remembered this guy. And let me show you what his stance is when it comes to the World Cup now.
But it looks like it's turning out to be a bust.
Ooh, that's not something you want to hear from a guy in his position. He's the hotel director for the Hollywood Hotel. And the last time we saw him, he was telling us in general that the hotel booking is down, even worse than like 2024. But today, I'm actually going to show you how much he's down in June and July, which is the World Cup months. And it's under 50%. But I'll show you exactly later. And it's not any better in New York and New Jersey either. This hotel that we're going to show, which is right across the street from MetLife Stadium, reported that they had 0 bookings during the World Cup months, so they had to adjust. And even after adjusting the prices, the bookings are still a bit underwhelming. But wait, there's more. Even Philadelphia is saying that it's a bit underwhelming. And we're going to hear from the president of the Hotel Association or something in Philadelphia, and he calls it disappointing. I said a few videos ago that we already heard from Seattle, Kansas City, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Dallas, and Houston too, I guess. And I said in the next few weeks we're going to hear from Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Miami. Well, today we're going to hear from New York and New Jersey, as well as Philadelphia. But let's start off with the update out of Los Angeles first.
We're now exactly 1 month away from the first World Cup match at SoFi Stadium. But as the excitement among fans builds, the hotel industry is sounding the alarm. A trade group says nearly 70% of its hotels in the region report bookings below their expectations. Well, but first, Alex Rozier, live for us in Hollywood, where the economic side of the World Cup is sort of falling flat here. Alex.
Michael, there's some real disappointment and concern because the World Cup is really a global event that people have been looking forward to for years. Now, 1 month from the games beginning at SoFi Stadium, some hotel directors are wondering if their hotels will even fill up.
Well, my non-expert opinion, maybe if you lower the price, they might start to fill up. But a lot of these hotels are still trying to hang on to that golden ticket, hoping that these suckers, fans, are still going to book at their high prices. So to these hotels, you got less than 30 days. You better start adjusting.
As excitement builds for World Cup soccer at SoFi Stadium, concern is growing at the Hollywood Hotel.
The truth is in the numbers. I don't make this up. These are facts.
Jeff Zarinum is the hotel director. He shared their projections for the World Cup. He said as of now, in June, they're 37% booked. He expects that'll increase to 65%. In July, they're at 35%. His forecast shows they'll be at 75%. But typically, he says every summer, they are more than 90% booked.
Now, these numbers are actually shocking to me, because when I first saw this guy, like a couple reports ago, I thought his hotel would be at least 50%, maybe 60% booked. So these numbers right here are way below than what I actually thought. Now, when it comes to the forecasted numbers, 65% and 75%, this hotel director is going to have to make some major changes if he wants to reach that. And the only way to reach it? Lower your prices. And hope your domestic tourists actually book your rooms, because you are definitely running out of time when it comes to the international tourists.
Seeing these low numbers, how are you feeling?
Not too good.
Zarinum also says he subscribes to STR Hotel Research that he says shows hotels across the Hollywood and Beverly Hills region are, on average, at 28% occupancy for the World Cup window.
Wow, 28%, like 28. I was wrong again. I thought the average would be higher. In a situation like this, I'm happy to be wrong. Because most of the time when we hear from the US media, it's a general, yeah, we're down, or it's a bit slow, or it's slower than usual. Or the bookings are like valleys, they come and go. But now that you've heard these numbers, like 28% occupancy average for the World Cup months, does this change your outlook on it? Because now that I know the average is so damn low, I'm actually starting to wonder if we're going to see empty seats in the stadiums. I've always thought that the corporate people and like rich people and stuff would buy it. But now that I know the occupancy rate is so low, maybe there will be empty seats in the stands. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you think there will be empty seats? If so, leave a comment below. And if you're as happy as I am about this, and you're not subscribed to my channel, then hit that subscribe button below so then that way you can join me when I report this car crash in slow motion.
It's not for the entire city of LA, but Hollywood is a bellwether indicator of what's happening in the city in general. You can attribute it to a few factors.
He said hotels had to increase their rates because hotel workers' minimum wage and health care credit goes up this summer in Los Angeles.
Well, that's a new one. He blamed hotel rates on rising staff costs, on hotel wages. So I guess that all makes sense, right? I'm being sarcastic here.
And ticket prices may have pushed away potential fans.
They are very, very expensive.
Natalia Vasquez lives in Colombia and has been to 3 World Cups.
I've been in Germany, in Brazil, and Russia.
She's going this year, too, in Philadelphia. She says it was the cheapest host city, and she says her ticket is 3 times more than her last World Cup.
For this time, the ticket was in 1,000 each ticket. And the last time in Russia, it was for 3 tickets for the first round, the same price.
Well, I guess some superfans will go no matter what. But it wouldn't sit well with me knowing that the price of 1 ticket could have got me 3 in the previous World Cup. But I have reported in the past that other superfans have gone to Russia, Qatar, and other World Cup destinations. But this time, they refused to go because of the cost in principle.
And that doesn't include the parking and the food and the hotel room and the flight.
You had high hopes. I mean, this is the World Cup.
Well, this is what everybody was banking on, but it looks like it's turning out to be a bust.
Well, when a hotel owner says that, you know something's wrong. And especially when the media is saying that, you know the story has changed. It was only 2 weeks ago that the media was saying that everybody is going to be booking within a month. Now I'm really curious to see what the media says when we're only a week away from the World Cup.
In terms of business for hotels.
And on top of that, right now, the LA City Council is considering letting people who own second homes rent them out as Airbnbs in the city. Hotel owners are saying that will only saturate a hurting market. This is a story that we are going to continue to follow as soccer comes close here in Los Angeles.
So the biggest takeaway of this report is actually seeing the numbers when it comes to this hotel's occupancy rate. I thought it would be over 50%, maybe even 65%. But it was 37%. And personally, I'm not sure this guy's going to meet his forecasted numbers, even if he does lower his prices, because the demand is just not there. And we know this is happening in New York or New Jersey. Is it New Jersey or New York? Okay, I just looked it up. It's a joint thing between the 2 cities. But we know there's a hotel in New Jersey, right across from MetLife Stadium, that had 0 bookings. 0. And they were forced to adjust, which means I guess lowering their prices, to try to see if they can at least get some bookings. So let's get started on this report out of New Jersey.
The World Cup was expected to be an economic boon for local hotels and restaurants. But new data shows hotel demand here in the city may not be as strong as expected. John Diaz has the story.
We leveled everything.
At the former Park Hotel at Meadowlands in East Rutherford, now known as the World of Blue, crews are working around the clock as it undergoes a massive renovation.
Now, I'm pretty sure the hotel owner thought that he would be able to cash in on the FIFA World Cup and do some upgrades at the same time. But I'm going to show you the most important part of this segment.
We have custom lighting that's going in here within the next week.
Owner Harvey Rosenblatt hopes to open by June 1st, just in time for the World Cup. The hotel is yards away from MetLife Stadium.
You're literally right across the road.
But he admits even that wasn't booking rooms at first.
Everybody's charging $1,400 a night, and they're asking for 4-night minimums. And that's what we did. And we got 0 bookings.
0 bookings. 0. And that's with the inflated FIFA World Cup prices. So now he's forced to adjust, lower his prices, just to try to see if he can get people into his hotel, which is across the street from the stadium. Which should be a big benefit to him, because people will want to be close to the stadium. But I think it really sets the tone when a hotel across the stadium has 0 bookings. The question I have right now, how many other hotels in the United States, and maybe even Canada, have 0 FIFA World Cup bookings?
So he slashed prices and got rid of minimum stay requirements.
We've seen an uptick over the last 2-3 weeks.
Rosenblatt says his hotel is now more than 50% booked for World Cup nights, but new data from the company CoStar shows many New York City hotels are still lagging. On some match nights, only about a third of hotel rooms are filled.
So this hotel owner, after he lowered his price, is allegedly 50% booked. Makes you wonder if he actually lowered his price from the beginning and maybe he might be 100% booked. But then you still got the problem of the people wanting to go to the United States. But as for the other hotels only being a third booked on game days, ouch.
Nearly 12% below last year's levels.
Do you think that New York City and the area could actually lose money on the World Cup?
Higher prices that are pricing people out, but also the fact that people are just geopolitically not looking to come to the U.S. And it could cause New York City to lose money.
A spokesperson for the travel app Going, Katie Nastro, says New York isn't alone.
The other 10 host cities also seeing a softening.
She used the word softening. Why don't you just call it what it is? It's a fucking disaster built on greed, where everyone thought they would have a golden ticket, and a country who seriously thought that people would still want to go visit, despite what the United States is doing to the rest of the world. I think this is a better description than just softening.
Hospitality officials saying as more people start to buy last-minute tickets or resale tickets, we may start to see more hotel rooms book up. Mayor Mamdani saying Monday many fans are likely waiting until matchups are finalized before locking in their travel plans.
We have a little more than 30 days until the World Cup starts, a little more than 60 days until the World Cup final.
So, do you agree with the New York mayor? Do you think people are going to book very last minute? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You guys already know mine. Now let's move on to the last city, Philadelphia. It's a shorter clip, but I'm also running out of time. But I do want to show how they're kind of downplaying what's going on right now.
One of the biggest indicators of demand for a big event is hotel reservations. A month out from the first match, you may think hotels are fully booked in Philadelphia, but the president of the Greater Philadelphia Hotel Association told NBC 10 they are not.
Well, we are a little bit below our booking pace that we expected. It's a little disappointing, but we're still anticipating a good summer. Anecdotally, I can tell you that my hotels are reporting that the pickup has been slower than anticipated. There's still rooms available for the matches.
Now this report here doesn't give us like detailed numbers like the previous two. But the fact that he says that there's still hotel rooms available for game days, I'm wondering if the hotels are at least 50% occupied. I mean, we know in New York and New Jersey, they're only a third occupied. And we know the hotel across the street from MetLife Stadium is only at 50% right now. And we also know the hotel in Los Angeles, the Hollywood Hotel or whatever, they're only at 37% capacity. So what's your guess for Philadelphia? I'm going to guess they're going to be around the same. Now, I'm going to fast forward a little bit because they talk about how FIFA gave back a whole bunch of rooms and said that's normal, which we kind of know is not normal. But they do talk about the international travelers. Let's take a look.
While other tourism groups said that could have made the demand seem higher than it was. All the tourism groups point to one major factor, though, the decline in international travelers coming to the U.S. Data shows it was down more than 5% in 2025 compared to the year before. The National Travel and Tourism Office just released data. And look here, it shows a 14% decrease in foreign visitors coming to the U.S. last month compared to the year before.
You know, this is actually a pretty important number because I've always been focusing on Canada numbers going to the United States and, those numbers dropping. But 14% down in April compared to last year's April is actually pretty big. So cheers to everybody around the world that decided they don't want to go to the United States anymore.
And of course, the World Cup normally draws fans from around the world. If this trend continues, it also is potentially costly. According to the U.S. Travel Association, international World Cup visitors spend more and stay longer. I talked to a leader with that group about what's behind the drop in foreign travelers. He told me a steep drop from Canada in particular and domestic politics.
If you take Canada out of the data for international travel, inbound arrivals, international visitors were actually up 1% to the United States last year.
Now, how the hell does that even make sense? I've been reporting pretty much all last year that flights internationally, whether from Europe or even Asia, have been going down in the United States. So this guy here is saying that the decline is mainly from Canada. I don't know, but if I was from Europe or Asia or any other region, I would be kind of insulted by this guy's comments.
So a lot of the decline we're seeing is actually driven by a decline in visitation from Canada. And it's an important market. They're important partners. They're important friends and family that we've got to win back their business.
What is the biggest factor that you all are watching that you think could have a major impact on whether people decide to travel here and how often they're traveling?
I think if people have the misperception that they're not welcome in the United States, that it's harder to get a visa, that there is a chance that they're going to be detained or questioned, even though the numbers have not increased compared to previous years, that misperception can do the most damage in discouraging people from even thinking about the United States as a destination and choosing to go elsewhere in the world.
So in other words, this guy's saying everything is fine and that we're overreacting. That's what it is. I'm not going to get into this part, but if you want to understand my stance on it, you can check out my other 100 videos that I talked about this topic. But what I want to focus on is the delusional mindset that this guy has. Everything is fine in the US, and it's everyone else's problem, and that we're overreacting. So with that continued mindset, you're just going to keep pushing people away. Now let's finish off this report with some more delusional talk.
By the way, Canadian travelers could also just be choosing to support the homeland. There are World Cup matches in Toronto and Vancouver as well.
No, we're not just staying home because we got the World Cup in Toronto and Vancouver. There's a lot more reasons.
So here's the good news. It's early. Hansen said once World Cup play starts and all the excitement builds, chances are more people will come out. Visit Philly's president Angela Val told us she's also not worried. In fact, she says Visit Philly is doing something a little different. They're not advertising to international visitors. They're calling on other Americans to come to Philly to either go to the World Cup or just enjoy the vibes around it.
So in other words, they're not marketing to the international community because they know they would be wasting money. So they're depending on the domestic tourists now. So with that said, I say good luck to that. So what I showed you in this video is some real stats. Stats of a hotel only being 37% full. Another one that was 0% full, and they had to lower the prices in order to get to 50%. And this last video, well, you got the people saying everything's fine, everything's gonna be good, no need to panic. Well, I'll check in with you guys in about 3 weeks and see how you guys are doing. To close off this video, I would like to thank Peggy for sending me this photo of the Confederation Bridge from Prince Edward Island. I really appreciate you posting it on the Guard the Leaf Hey Cafe page, as well as sending it to me on email. So thank you for sharing this with the community, and thank you for helping to point out some things for me. You know what I'm talking about. Alright, that's all I got for this video. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international perspective, without the US media bias, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. That way you'll be notified on my future videos. And if you want to see more of my videos relating to the FIFA World Cup, check out the ones that are going to show up on your screen shortly. Thanks everyone, I'll catch you in the next one.